Good morning, Mountain Bay Elementary. I hope everybody, teachers and students, had a wonderful weekend. It was beautiful out, a little chilly here and there, but definitely a fall weekend. And I hope it was fantastic for everyone. As we make our way into Monday, today is Monday, October 23rd. It is a Gold Day 2 on our Encore Specials schedule. Weather today, high of 52, not going to get too warm, and it's going to be pretty cloudy overall today and kind of rain off and on. A pretty rainy day, just as it has been a little rainy overnight so far. So we'll check on recess throughout the day, depending on how much rain has fallen, but definitely going to be rainy throughout the day. Not necessarily downpours or anything, but pretty rainy. Lunch today, it'll be hot ham and cheese on a pretzel bun with some baked beans, fresh veggies, and an apple. Love a good apple. Love a good apple. Breakfast tomorrow on Tuesday is a cinnamon chip scone and some apple slices. And again, both lunch today and breakfast tomorrow, a choice of milk. I have a couple of birthdays today on October 23rd. Cooper up in Mrs. Johnson's classroom. We have Isabella next door in Mrs. McGrath's classroom. And then down in the third grade wing in Mrs. M. Plaza's classroom, we have Ariana, who has her birthday. So the three of you, I hope it is a great birthday here on the 23rd of October. I hope that all the students that were able to join the PTO, the parent-teacher organization, moving on Friday, had a fun time. I know the movie was a little quiet for a while, worked through some technical difficulties, but I think bottom line is students had fun. I want to thank all the teachers and all the students for their awesome work on the pumpkins last week. I know it took some time, it took some supplies, but the end result was pretty sweet. I think if we entered in some national pumpkin decorating competition, I think Mountain Bay would do pretty well. So students, quick note, you'll notice in the top left picture here, their cafeteria is currently there, but we are going to leave those pumpkins kind of displayed for you to look at probably through the next week or so, through this week and then up until October. So just a reminder that each classroom worked very hard on those and that we can definitely look at them and enjoy them and think that they're pretty awesome, but let's make sure that we leave them alone and just look at them over the next couple of days. I just wanted to do a quick shout out. We had a couple of guest teachers here on Friday. We had, I believe Mr. Roseman was his name, in for Mrs. Hazy. And I checked in a couple of times with him, and he just said, it was his first time here at Mountain Bay, and he said he just had a great day. He said we have some phenomenal students here, and he would definitely be back. And that was just music to Mr. Schultz's ears, because to have guest teachers really enjoy coming here and wanting to be with our Mustangs, that's awesome, and that's because you had respect and treated him very, very kindly. So students, I believe Mrs. Lerke, Mrs. McIlvain, Mrs. Vine, and Mrs. Vanderleest all had art on Friday. So thank you to those four classes for having a little bit extra respect for Mr. Roseman. First time here at Mountain Bay. Quick shout out also to Mrs. Schoberg's class. She had a guest teacher as well who shifted into their classroom. And again, I checked on her a couple times on Friday, and she said she had just a great day as well. And then lastly, because of that guest teacher coming in there, we had Mrs. Hintz, who did some of our guidance lessons for Mrs. McGrath and Mrs. Roberts, and Mrs. Hintz said it was just a great morning for some guidance lessons as well. So again, bottom line here, Mustangs, is thank you for a great Friday and treating our guest teachers with respect. It's very important because we want our guest teachers to come back when our teachers need to sometimes be away, and we need to make sure we treat them with kindness so that they come back and want to be part of Mountain Bay Elementary. A quick note, I'll talk about this tomorrow as well, Mustangs, but this Wednesday, you'll notice on the bottom left here, it is going to be, today's the 23rd, tomorrow the 24th, Wednesday is the 25th. It's going to be a You Matter Day, and it's only a half day, so you're going to come here regular time, and we'll wrap up around noon, 11:50, you can see there, and it's going to be a pretty busy day. We're going to talk a lot about generosity on Wednesday. Your teachers have some activities planned around generosity, and we're also going to have our Assembly. Remember, we had our assembly back in September, honoring those that made safe choices. We're also going to have that on Wednesday morning, where we will honor and recognize students that have had integrity through the month of October. So just wanted to give you a heads up that Wednesday is going to look a little bit different, and part of that different will be having those assemblies. So I'll remind you tomorrow. We just wanted to put that on your radar. And also, as you can see, our spirit trophies will shift to different classrooms, possibly, because we want to make sure we wear our Mountain Bay or DC Everest school spirit wear on Wednesday. So that's either some green and gold or some blue and red or anything Mustang and Everest evergreen. So make sure that we think about that for Wednesday, because again, it'll be a busy day, and we'll try to, I know those trophies are currently in Mrs. Eisenman and Mrs. McGrath's room, so we'll look at that for Wednesday. All right, getting towards the end here. Mountain Bay Elementary joke of the day. Why do hummingbirds hum? Why do hummingbirds hum? Well, because they don't know the words, of course, right? It's like Mr. Schultz. I definitely hum because my musical voice is not the most pleasant for people to listen to. So you'll hear me humming. So that was a lot of information today, Mustangs. Mondays, sometimes we can get a lot of information. So we'll wrap up with the Pledge of Allegiance today. Let's, again, I know coming back from a weekend sometimes it can be a little challenging, but I think it'll be an excellent day, and I look forward to having a great day with all of our Mustangs. Make it a phenomenal Monday, Mighty Mustangs.